but if you want me to, so I'll do a bit more of the demo, and I'll record this bit, and then I'll stop the recording and come back to you, and you can ask me any questions, and Amira, you can show me yours. Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Okay. So on this bit here, again, I'm not going to go exactly back through the bit that I've done. I'm going to just very close to it and pull it through. But again, leave a little bit of a loop here so that it gives a bit of give. So it's not going to be too tight and buckled. And then again, go to the next point. And it goes to the point. There we go. So then I can look at those stitches before I pull the needle through and think, are they even enough? So I've got a bit of a bigger space there, but again, it's good enough, I think, for this one. And so I'll pull it through. So I'm not going to leave a loop on the right side there. I'm going to pull that through, but I have still got my little loop on the back. So if at any point I want to pull it a bit looser, then I can loosen the stitches a little bit by having these little loops just on the back. The template out of the way. And then I'm going to go back down to the middle in this case, rather than very close that stitch that I've just done. It's a little bit of a longer run down to the centre. Following that line. My line's brushed off already, this particular one. So if you remember, when we get to the centre, we're not wanting to go right into the centre, we're wanting to leave a bit of a gap. So this is where actually it's probably a good thing to show that if I carry on the same size that I'm doing, I'm going to end up, it's quite good that I hold that up. You can see how I'm almost coming to the centre, but not quite. And that's what we want. And my stitches again are quite even. So if when you are looking at it like this, you're thinking, oh, actually, I can see that my stitches are bigger than my gaps, or some gaps are bigger than others, some stitches are bigger than others, then it's quite easy to pull your needle back out and just have a go at doing that line again. So I'm not one for wanting to totally unpick and go back, but at this stage it's quite easy to pull out your needle and not commit to pulling it through.
Yeah, but I think the stitches is like come different. It's not same like.
Yeah, so it does come with practice. It is something that it is very particular to very much to the Sashiko style stitching, this being very precise. So it is just a case of practice, and it does get better. So mine, I'm happier with my stitching now than I was, and so those examples that I showed you where I hadn't quite gone across the centre because I forgot on one of them, and then my stitches weren't as even. They are getting better as I practice at doing this. So don't don't worry if yours isn't quite as even at this stage. So, but also feel free if you've moved on, if you want to unthread your needle and pull it out and start again, then that's your choice as to whether you want to.
Helen, if when I want to go to the second line, do I have to start from here, or I have to make it like a?
So I'll just show you on mine. So I came up here,
Okay.
and so my thread was at the back, and then I just came up through very close to where I'd done and started stitching again. So I didn't secure it off or anything. I just left, all I did was leave a little bit of a loop on the back, just to give some ease. So at this stage, really, it's a case of choosing where you want to go. So you could go right across and start again, but leaving a gap there. On the line. So I think I might do that because this line's the one that's fading. So, and again, I'm going to just just have a little bit of a loop across, just a race bit on the back across that centre bit to give myself some leeway. And then thread the next bit on. Again, having a little look at it, thinking, yeah, they're even enough for me. So pull it through. And because I left that little bit of a gap across the centre, I can pull it through. Still got that bit of a gap, and I know that it's going to lie quite flat. So come back out very close to where I just took it down in. Little loop on the back. So as I said, it seems like there's a lot to remember when you first start doing it, but then you just get into the routine of it. Again, having a little look at it. Yeah. And pulling through. I think this is where I've got into the flow of it a bit more now, and I'm starting to think about what maybe what my stitches are saying, and I guess what's coming to me, thoughts are the idea of the next right decision, the next right path to take. That's rather than worrying about the whole thing, I'm just getting to each point that I get to, I think, might know which is the next direction I'm going to take. So here I've got a choice. I can either carry on going around the outside, or I can go back down to the middle. So I think I'm going to go back to the middle. And it's a bit like that in life, really, that sometimes rather than worrying about several steps down the road, that I'm just thinking about the next right thing to do. And it's interesting how sometimes just some slow stitching like this can make us think about things and reflect. So this is an example where I've done my stitches and it really doesn't, so they're quite even, but it's not really taking me quite as near as I thought I was going to. And then if I do another stitch, I'll be going across. So I'm just looking at these thinking, what I need to do is try and get them up. So I'm going to pull it out to about there, and I think that first stitch is okay, and then I'm just going to try and make them a bit smaller, and then they'll hopefully look a bit more even. There we go. I think that's gonna look a little bit better. My loop's not, I'm just going to pull the loop a little bit of the past one there, and then put it through. So that's where I'm up to so far. So my next decision is where I'm going to go. Am I going to cross over? So part of my decision is how much thread I've got left. So I've got a bit more thread than I need just to go up there. So if I go up here, I may then have enough thread to go there, down and up. So I'm going to try doing that. I'm making sure I'm leaving a little space in the middle, trying to get that even. So I think getting the middle to look right is the hardest thing with this Asanewa leaf pattern. And if I'm tempted to speed up too much, I just try and remind myself, no, Helen, Sashiko means little stab, so I'm supposed to be doing little stitches, and just try and rein myself in. So again, before I pull it through, I'm just having a little look, am I happy with those? So yeah, okay, and I'll pull it through. Now coming back out very close to where I've just gone in, leaving a little loop on the back. we go. So I've got a loop there. Back out close to where I've just gone in. And then all I need to do is just bring this one, if I can, evenly to the other point. Yeah. And just need to then, I'm going to just go under one of these stitches. So I'm nearly out of thread. So rather than trying to take it across and do any more, I'm going to just secure it off. So just going underneath one of the nearby stitches on the back and just going under it a bit and catching a little bit of the fabric at the time. Checking before I pull, it's not showing on the other side. There we go. And I'll just take it under that one as well. Just trim that off. So that's a bit more than half. So it's then a case of deciding with getting another piece of thread. This one's too long for me. It's always I change the camera, you can see me. And
Helen,
yeah.
is this?
Yes, Samira.
Yeah. Is it? Can you see this one? Is it fine?
I'll tell you what. I'm just going to show how I get the right length of thread, and then I'll change my view. Okay, so I'm just holding it with my thumb and finger, and then I'm taking it along my arm, and I definitely don't want any more than to my shoulder, and possibly to my elbow would be a little bit short. So I tend to go to about here. So that's the length of my working thread, if you like. So I'm going to then cut it there at that point, and use that to rethread my needle and then restart on this. So I'll pause the. So I've got my new piece of thread. I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start here and then complete that bit down here, this line, because I've only got that one little bit to do. Or I could start either of these points and fill in these. So I've got those two V's, if you like, to do, and this one line, the other line to do.
So when I come to the one of those, do I, if I complete one like this here, now you have some close points. Like if you do one of those, so that time you have to make a point, then cut the thread, or I have to continue with this.
No, I think, well, if you've got some thread, so if, for example, you get to the point, like I got to, where I'd have to move anyway to carry on sewing, you can just thread underneath and go along. So perhaps if I just, I'll show you that on the next bit. So if I do, if I do this line here, I'll show you how I would then get back to this point to carry on here without having to cut my thread. So to do this bit here, I'm just doing a couple of little stitches on the back to secure my new thread in. And then coming out really near the point, as near the point as I can. Sort of there. See that coming through. And then heading in towards the centre. Get it angled right, and then I think we can see.
Oh, you make it like a point, or make it like an angle to show that it's a like corner.
Yeah, Yeah, so it's you're leaving you at any of the points. So this one here and this one, you're getting the 2 stitches to go very close to each other, whereas in the center you're leaving a gap.
Right. Right.
And you're not getting them close. So basically, it's those two different techniques that you're using.
Mm.
So let's see if I can get close. How many little stitches I can get on here. So I'm pulling it through and then just stretching it out, making sure I'm keeping it flat. So I've done all those center lines. So I'm at the middle and I want to get to here, this point again, so that I can do this bit. So I'm going to just weave under the stitches that are already there and taking this new thread up behind. So this isn't going to show on the right side.
Yeah, that's the thing is we have to cut the or we have to carry on and like continue without cutting the.
Yeah, just the less times you have to cut your thread, the better, really, because it'll be more secure. So again, at the point coming out very close, try and angle it back so you can see.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you are making for each angle here like a point to make it much clearer.
Yeah, you're trying to get your stitches very close together at the points, so that it's almost like they're continuous and there's not a space, but not quite. So as I say, I'm doing 4 on each of these little ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just double checking. Got 1, 2, 3. So my stitches are obviously a bit big here because I wasn't quite getting 4. So let me just try and pull the needle back out, and I'm just making them a little bit smaller again now. Easy to get carried away. So that's 1, 2, 3.
In small one 3 and big one almost 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 1,
1, 2, 3, 4,
1, 2,
5.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I make it 6.
I've done 6 or 7 on my longer one, so they should be the same, but I've ended up with saying more on some than others. So that's me not being as accurate. So yeah, I looked at it on my needle and it looked even enough. So I don't think it looks too bad. But you've got 3, haven't you? Not 4. So yours will look better with less than. So yeah, you said 5, didn't you? So 5 will look better
5.
with yours. Yeah.
5.
So there we go. I'm going to struggle to get 4 on this one. I'll just try again.
Helen, I just want to show you something. Can you see the camera?
Yeah.
Childcare, they want some healthy food to present it for the kids in a nice way.
Okay, one moment. Let me